assume I'm right. Sometimes just let it, sometimes just let it. Don't wait for the sun, don't wait for the sun. Baby, don't leave me, just dance and believe in it. Get on up, baby, you'll get it. Get on up, baby, you'll get it. Get on up, baby, come on, let's get it on. Let me show you how. Get on up, baby, you'll get it. Get on up, baby, you'll get it. Get on up, baby, come on, let's get it on. Let me show you how.
Stay steady, stay the course, be consistent, be persistent, and you'll get where you want to be. That's simple, right? Just show up, show up. Being there is half the battle. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. You're doing it from home, you're doing it your way. We practice 1 hour every single day. Every day is different, every practice is different, every day your body is different. But whatever you do, don't hurt yourself. The bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. We're all different, we're all unique, as are our practices. Check us out every day, it is different. Some are harder than others, some, oh gosh, why am I doing this? I don't want to be here, I can't get out of my head. But when you come to your mat, when you take the time, when you're consistent, when you're persistent, good things do happen. And you can do every one of our practices because you modify them. You modify them to make them work for you. That's the biggest thing. Modify it, modify it, modify it. Use props. Take a pose to 10% if that feels good for you today, but just modify and just show up on that safe space on your mat every single day. A word to think about as you practice today is the word needs. Your body needs movement, and your head needs that movement as well. A need is a necessity. It's a lack of something that is wanted. You don't know that you want it, but you do want it. You do want to move because you do feel better when you do move. And let's kind of check that out. Here's how you can do that. Give yourself a stress number right now on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, scale of whatever to whatever, frowny face to happy face. Give it a number. And remember that number as we come to practice. Today's practice is all on your mat. There's no balancing. We're just going to be down on the ground, and you think, oh, maybe that's not going to be enough of a challenge. It's going to be plenty of a challenge, I promise, but you will feel better. You got that stress number locked in? Let's come to seated. Your props today, you're probably going to want a couple of your yoga blocks. You're going to want your water, your eye shade, and your towel, and a strap. If you don't have a strap, grab the belt to your robe. Maybe you're still wearing your robe, but just have that handy. And she's got to go. Hey, Piper, go get in your bed. Good girl. All right, so come on down to a seated position on your mat. And here's the one I'm going to take today. We do different ones, but I'm going to take a deer pose. All right, so this is, in the hips. Give it a go. So you're going to sit with your both knees bent, kind of going off to one direction. Both knees are bent. All right, and your feet are going in one direction. Knees are going to a diagonal in the other direction. All right, settle in. Whoo, sometimes my left hip really gets a Charlie horse in it when I do this on the right side. But try it. That's the thing. Just try it. If you know it doesn't work for you, sit any way you like. You could sit crisscross applesauce with your knees bent. You could sit with your legs out. Sit however feels good, but just come on down to let there be light and come on down to the ground. So as you're seated, bring your hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in. And a big sighing breath out. Just let it go. Realize that you are here. There's no other place to be this present moment. You are on your mat. It is a safe space. Be at peace. Deep breath in. Oh my. Deep breath out. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, and that's just fine. That's just life. Breathe in. Big breath out. So getting a little different kind of movement going in the hips here. And when you're ready, blink your eyes open. Just slow your breathing down. Breath in, breath out. Let's put our hands on our knees and do some neck circles. The music went wild. All right, so turn your head. Let's do our head from left to right first. Just turn your head and just be aware. Soften in your shoulders. Turning your head left to right. Maybe eyes are closed or maybe they're open. You do what feels good for you. But just be aware. Be aware of the right now. Be aware of how your mat feels underneath your legs, the temperature of your room. Be in the present moment. Maybe you want to turn your head a little bit more in one direction and see how far you can take it. Shoulders comfortably down. Turn your neck in the other direction. Head back to the midline. And then start to circle your neck. Circle your head. If it feels good for you, go for it. Pretend you're drawing with your nose on the wall in front of you. Circles can be big, small, whatever. Come back to the midline of your body and let your chin draw up the front wall as you send your nose, your gaze up toward the sky. Feel the nice big stretch in the front of your neck. And then do the opposite. Tuck your chin to your chest. Let your head hang heavy as your shoulders soften. A few of those. Just moving the neck. And as you're ready, come back to the midline of your body. And you can keep your eyes closed here if you want. Shoulder shrugs. Shrug them up. Squeeze them up good and tight. Tension here. Bring the shoulders up to the ears. Hopefully you don't live in a state like that where you got tension in your shoulders. We do. All of us do some of the time. Send your shoulders to the back of the room, and hopefully this yoga will help that tension go away. Let it go. Soften the shoulders, let them down. Do a few more of those. Tight shoulder shrugs up near the ears. Oh, that's kind of a familiar feeling, isn't it? Tightness in the shoulders where we hold a lot of stress. Shoulders to the back of the room. And shoulders down. A lot of people hold stress in their shoulders and their neck, especially men. Women hold it primarily in their hips, but we're working on that, right? And it feels really good. All right, side bends. Here we go. Lift your arms up to the sky. Take a deep breath in like extended mountain. Place one hand down. We're going to do both sides, so it doesn't matter which one you do. I'm going to place one hand down, lift through the other, and then I'm going to reach to the side. Reach. And that foundational elbow, let it be like an elevator. Bring it on down if that feels good. Bring it on back up if that feels better. All right, so, this is kind of fun. So we've got friends with us today from Virginia, New York, Colorado, England, Kansas, Florida, Georgia. Glad you guys are here. All right, so stretch, reach to the side of the room, chin away from the chest, top shoulder back. All right, come on back up. Oh, extended mountain arms. Then place the other arm down kind of behind you and then take a little stretch on this side. Feel like a mermaid. Stretch, shoulder back, chin away from the chest, just stretch to the side. How are your hips feeling? I'm starting to get the Charlie horse in my hip. Breathe. Breathe. Let it go. You got to let all the tension go. All right, come on back up. Midline of your body. Arms down by your sides or onto the knees. Take a turn to the right. Just take that little twist in your waist. Look to one side or the other. Then turn in the other direction and look over that shoulder. Little twist. All right, let's come out of it. Come back to the midline. Let your legs go. Send them long. You know that seated forward fold we do? Send your legs both long on your mat. Toes up toward the sky. Lengthen up through your hands and then fold forward. Fold forward, reach for your toes, your calves, whatever you can reach. No rush, no hurry. Just let this feel good. Stay steady, stay the course. You know, everybody's path looks different, but we're all going to get to where we want to be. Send your gaze toward your knees. Breathe. Back on up to a seated position. Now we're going to switch the legs. Do deer pose on the other side. So I had my knees going one direction. Now I'm going to have them going in the opposite direction. So the knees are going to a diagonal and the feet are going to the opposite diagonal. Sit up, nestle into both bottom cheeks as best you can. Or if this pose just isn't working for you, sit any way you like. It's your yoga. Take a deep breath in, hands on your knees. And a deep breath out, let your shoulders go soft. Breathe in, sigh out the tension, let it go. We hold on to too much tension in the shoulders and in the hips. I'm feeling it in the hips today. Breathe in, let it go. You know, it sounds silly, but think of sending the breath as you exhale to the area that feels tight. Ooh, it's that right hip for me today. Think of sending the breath there. Think of that breath as creating space in the hip. Sounds silly, but just imagine that and see how it feels. Deep breath in. Deep shoulder softening breath out. All right, I'll talk you through this one if you want to keep your eyes closed. We're going to work on our neck again a little bit, but a little bit differently. Lift your left arm up to the sky. Bend that elbow and bring those left fingers on top of the right ear. Encourage the left ear to the left shoulder as you hold on to the right ear, and use your left arm to just kind of pull the head a little bit more toward the shoulder, if it feels good. And that opposite shoulder, the one that's getting the lengthy stretch, for me it's my right one, going to soften it down even more. Just hold the head here. Deep breaths in, maybe sighing breaths out. Maybe you've already started to do your Ujjayi Pranayama breath. And remember, that's the one where you close your lips and you breathe in and out of your nose and just kind of get into the rhythm of that breath. If you like. If not, breathe any way you want. Just try to breathe deeply. As you're ready, this feels really good on the neck here today. All right, so I'm going to bring my head back up to the midline. I'm going to release my hand on down. Let my head slowly float back up to the midline. I'm going to lift both arms up, up, up to the sky. Stretch it out, reach it out. Going to bring my left arm down to rest on my leg, and then I'm going to take my right hand, bend that elbow, take those right fingers and place them on top of my left ear. I'm going to encourage my head to the side here, bringing my right ear toward my right shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out. Encourage the head down a little bit more toward the shoulder. Enjoy that nice big stretch on the left side. Left hand is resting comfortably on your leg. It's not tight and up near the neck. Try to imagine more space between the shoulder and the ear. On the left side. Hands pretty strong. Maybe you want to pull a little bit more. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Soften the muscles there. Soften in your jaws. Don't let your teeth be clenched or your jaws be clenched. And then slowly, as you're ready, release the hand, but take it slow. Float that hand down. Float the head back up to the midline of your body. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let's use that elevator elbow. Bring your arm down to the ground, one side or the other. Lift the opposite arm up to the sky, and then lean toward the side of your mat. Use your elbow to go up or down, whatever feels good. Take your time. Nobody moves just as gracefully as you do, because you know your body inside and out. Make it work for you. Reach through your fingers maybe a little bit more, keeping both bottom cheeks down. Rise on back up, float on back up. Maybe both arms go up as you just kind of wiggle everything back to the midline. Place the opposite hand down. Reach the extended arm to the side of the room. Elevator elbow here. Chin away from the chest, top shoulder, more back more toward the back of the room. Let go of how you think it should look. Oh my gosh, I should be doing it this way. I got to do more. You're doing it perfectly. You're consistent, you're persistent, you're here, you're doing it. It's all good. All right, so let's come out of that a little bit and let's come back to the midline. Turn to the left, turn to the right, look over your shoulder. Take it slow, take it easy, enjoy the movement. Be thankful for the movement you've got. All right, so come on back to the midline. That was intense in the hips, wasn't it? It's kind of like how when we talk through toes pose, how you don't notice so much how intense it is. All right, come on out. Send your legs long and strong to the front of the room. Toes drawn up toward the sky. Lengthen up through your arms to the sky and then reach forward. Reach forward. A little bend in your knees might feel good. Send your gaze down to your knees. Touch your toes, your ankles, whatever you can touch. Hug the elbows in and fold in half. Come on up, shoulders over hips. Time for child's pose. All right, we're gonna get into this is where you get out of your head. So we've gotten into the hips, gotten into the body. How do your hips feel? Nice and warmed up. Let's do child's pose a couple different ways, and we'll take it in layers. Knees together, big toes touching, hips back to your heels. Introduce a block if you would like. Place your head onto the block, or bring your head down to your mat. Send your arms long and strong down by your sides. Another opportunity to keep your shoulders away from your ears as you imagine your fingertips going even more to the bottom of your mat. So you feel like you're in a tight, little, concise ball here. This is your child's pose. Spine is lengthening, your forehead is on the mat, so your spine is lengthening from the neck all the way down to your tailbone. Imagine your tailbone going further back to the bottom of your mat. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe Ujjayi Pranayama breath with the lips closed. As you settle in here. So this is your classic child's pose. We're going to take it into some layers here, if you like. You don't have to, but maybe give it a try. And if a layer doesn't feel right for you, peel it on back and go to the previous layer. I'm going to take my arms now and I'm going to bring them forward. I'm going to spread my knees wide for a wide-legged child's pose. Arms reach long to the top of the mat. You can sink your head down to your block or to the mat. Imagine your chest coming even closer to the mat as your knees are spread wide, but your big toes are still touching. Arms reach long to the top of your mat. I feel it in my armpits here. Breathe in. The exhale allows me to bring my tailbone more to the back of my mat. And that feels good to get that length going there. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, if you like, wiggle your knees a little farther apart. So we're going to do, from this classic child's pose to this wide-legged child's pose. Now we're going to move it to a tadpole pose, and then we'll take it to a full frog. So see how you like how it feels in your body. Like I said, go back to the previous layer if you don't like this one, but just give it a little bit of a try. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe work the knees even wider if that's all right. Now, if you like, the shins. Work the shins a little more parallel to the sides of the mat and stretch it out here. So we're going to attack that tension in those hips today. Oh, and the shoulders are feeling it too because they're reaching long. We're busting that tension. That's good. All right. So let's come out of it. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Bring your knees back on in and come to a neutral tabletop. How do you feel? Maybe you want to stay longer. Go for it if you do. All right. So a neutral tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, knees under hips. Spine is long. Push hard into the ground. Even the tops of the feet, even the knees feel like they're pushing into the ground, and the hands too. From this neutral tabletop, let's do cat-cow. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. There's your cat pose. And when you're ready to inhale, take your cow pose. When you're ready to exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, navel toward your spine, push into the earth. Inhale, cow pose, tailbone and crown of the head lift. Keep at this. Move it to your breath, the rhythm of your breath for your cat-cow, moving your spine in the shape of a letter C, forward and backwards. When you're ready, if you're ready, maybe you want to keep doing that cat-cow pose. I'm going to go into cat pulling its tail. So let's extend the right leg long. Extend the right leg long, press the ball of the foot into the mat. Feel the goodness of that tension up that entire right leg. You feel like you're a runner on the starting line. And you are. You're starting the rest of your life, which begins with this next breath. All right? You're strong. You're going to finish strong because you are consistent and you are persistent. All right, lift that extended right leg up, cross it over the midline of the body, squeeze high in the upper inner thighs, and then place the foot down. Ball of the foot is now down on the left side of the body. Look over your left shoulder, look back to your foot, look back to your knee, look back to your bottom. Press into the earth. Feel the good lateral flexion of the right side of your body here. Sweep this right leg around, sweep it around and bring it all the way around to maybe about hip height. Then plant the foot. Lift your right arm up, up, up to the sky and twist. Look up to your right hand. Give it a go. Look up. Plant the hand, bring the leg on back. Plant the right knee next to the left knee. You got it. Lift the right knee up. Bring the right thigh parallel to the earth. Give yourself like a kick in the bottom with that right heel. Now we're going to do cat pulling its tail. Maybe you want to continue to pulse the foot and just kick here, keeping your hips equal distant to your mat. I'm going to lift my left arm, reach around and capture my right foot. Pushing hard into the earth, the foundation, I'm going to look to the left, and then I'm going to try to look over my left shoulder, pulling and squeezing and holding tight, and trying to kick this foot to the back of the room. Finish up, bring the hand down and the knee down. When you're ready, do a cycle of cat-cow. Arch your back up to the sky. Inhale, cow, crown of the head and tailbone go to the sky. Come back to your neutral tabletop. Left side, extend your left leg long. Plant the ball of the left foot on the mat. Pull, pull, pull that foot toward the back of the room and lengthen here through that back left leg. The back left leg as opposed to your front left leg. Your back leg, your back left leg. Pull it, pull it, pull it. Feel the nice big stretch there. Lift that extended leg up, cross the midline of the body, plant the foot down and look over your right shoulder. Right shoulder, look back as far as you can look. Play with it. Can you see your foot? Can you see your knee? Can you see your bottom? Stretch it out. Come back, gaze in between your thumbs, sweep the left leg around to about hip height or whatever works. Lift the left arm up, up, up to the sky and twist and look up. This feels really good. Look up to the sky, breathe as best you can. Look as far as you can up. When you're ready, plant the hand on down. Bring the left knee back to meet the right. And now lift the left knee up. Left thigh parallel to the earth. Start to kick, kick, kick yourself in the bottom. Maybe that's where you stay. I'm going to reach around with my right hand and capture my left foot. I'm going to kick into my hand pretty hard and look over my right shoulder toward the right side of the room or even up toward the sky. Kick, push that foot hard into the hand and then slowly come on down. Hand down, knee down, take a cycle of cat-cow. Cat and cow. Little did you think being on your mat could be such a good workout. All right, bird dog pose. Lift your right leg up, knee to hip height. Extend the right leg long. Draw your right toes towards your shin. Leg is long and strong. Feel the compression in your low back. Add in the opposite arm, the left arm, if you like. If you have a block at the top of your mat, you can hold on to that if you want to be steady there. Or lift the arm up. Spread your fingers wide, thumb up to the sky. Push hard into the earth and lengthen here. Breathe, lengthen. Here's a little variation. You can bend the right knee, bend the left elbow, and have them touch underneath, under your belly button. Reach, stretch. Here's another challenge if you want to try it. Take the left hand, capture underneath the right knee, and draw the knee toward your nose. and then stretch it out. And don't skimp on the stretching, really stretch it out. Then maybe try to tuck again, nose toward the knee. And stretch with all you got. Left hand down, right knee down, other side. So neutral tabletop, left leg lifts, knee to hip height, leg extends long, toes drawn toward the shin, push into the earth. Add in the right arm if you want, use a block if you'd like. Stretch, length. Boy, your spine is stretching out here. Find length in the spine. Stretch, push hard into the earth. Try those variations if you want. Elbow to knee, and then stretch it out again. Elbow to knee, stretch her out. Maybe the right hand captures under the left knee, and you draw your nose toward your knee. Stretch, reach, and tuck if you like. Stretch, reach, stretch, reach, good and strong. And then finish, hand down, knee down. All right, when you're ready, let's come on back, shoulders over your hips. You can bring your blocks as we do a toes pose. Okay, so you're gonna stand on your knees, tuck your toes towards your shins. Have a seat back on your heels if you like. If you'd prefer, slip the block underneath your bottom and stay right here. Have a seat on your heels. All right, toes pose is intense. I'm gonna flow it between toes pose and ankle pose, getting the feet moving in both directions. You do what you want to do here. Maybe you wanna stay in toes pose. Relax the hands, prayer hands if you like. You decide what you wanna do with your arms. Maybe it's time for a big hug. You can do that. I'm gonna flow this, going from toes pose to ankle pose. You can use the blocks to bring the ground up to you. For an ankle pose, you place the tops of your feet on your mat and you sit back on your heels. You can use the blocks. They're kind of nice to push into to allow you to lift your knees, which are staying together, lift them up off of your mat as you stretch your ankles. If you don't have blocks or don't want to use blocks, you can use your hands or no hands at all and be at peace. I'm gonna go from toes pose to ankle pose. And you do the same. Take as long a toes pose as feels right today. And don't forget to do that ankle pose too. And if this is painful, this is one that really is one way or the other. If it's super painful, come out of it a little bit. You know, take it to 80% or 50% or just take it easy. Just do what you can with what you got, right? But the thing is, you got to use it. And sometimes I think the older you get, you think, oh, I don't have to move much. I can just relax. Yeah, you can, but the old move it or lose it really applies. Move it. You've got the time, hopefully. You're taking the time. Good for you. Take the time to move your body, and you will feel better. You feel better in your head, too. Maybe that's the most important part. Beautiful relationship, how the body and mind work together. All right, so toes pose, ankle pose. How are you doing? Let's find those blocks and let's do a lunge. Come on up to standing on your knees. Bring your right foot forward, knee over right ankle. You got your blocks there, push into them. Send your left leg long on your mat. And if this doesn't feel good on your knee, put a towel under it. Lots of ways. There's always ways to do this. Knee over ankle. You can stay right here on the blocks. You feel the big stretch in your left front hip. Perhaps come up to your fingertips on the block, shoulders over your hips. Maybe that feels good. Maybe it feels good to lift your arms and look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe you look up to the sky right overhead as if a raindrop were going to fall right between your eyes. Maybe you stretch it out a little bit more. Come back, shoulders over hips. Bring your hands to prayer center. Tell yourself something positive in your head. It's a good day. How about that? It's the first day of the rest of your life. Sounds good. Now interlace your fingers. Press those interlaced fingers into your right thigh. Think of sliding the skin on the top of that right thigh forward. As you do that, allow the knee to come forward and feel the depth or the deepening of the stretch in the left hip flexor. Just breathe here and enjoy that feeling. Maybe enjoy is not the right word, but make it enjoyable. Breathe, and then let's finish. The right leg, straighten it up. Grab your blocks, maybe walk the blocks back as you come to sit on your left heel. Maybe draw the right toes up to the sky. You got the blocks here. Take the hips back as far as you can. And then let's finish. Come forward back to that starting position of your shoulders over your hips. Now it's the right knee's turn to come down to the mat. Left leg goes forward, knee over ankle. Adjust and take the time here to send your right leg super duper long on your mat. Hold on to those blocks if that feels good for you. Breathe. Push into the fingertips into the blocks if that feels doable today. Maybe shoulders more over the hips as your arms go up to the sky. Look up. Maybe look higher up. Push into your feet. Strong foundation. Breathe. Slowly bring the hands back to prayer center. Always a good place to be. Breathe in. And breathe out, right? Interlace your fingers. Push into that left thigh. Letting the left knee come forward to the ankle, feeling the depth of the stretch in the right hip flexor. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Your hips are so big. Your hips are so strong and powerful. Keep them mobile so you can keep doing the things you love to do. All right, release your hands, find the blocks again. Straighten the left leg, bring your hips back as far as feels good. Maybe that's far enough today. Wherever you are, it is good. Believe that. We put too much pressure on ourselves, performance pressure. Yoga is not a performing art, it is a healing art. All right, so I'm gonna sit on my right heel, left toes up toward the sky. Breathe, breathe, breathe. All right, let's come forward. Bring your knees together and let's go into a plank. All right, we do this every day. Okay, so here's the deal. We're gonna do a plank and we're going to set a timer. You do any variation of plank you want. Many variations. I'm gonna show you the one I'm gonna do today. It's pretty doable. So let's do this together. So come on down to your belly. That sounds real good right there. All right, bend your elbows, elbow under shoulder, forearms pressed into the mat, fingers spread wide. I'm gonna press on up and I'm gonna stay on my knees. Dwayne, let's set a timer for 1 minute. And here we go, a 1 minute timer. All right, so I'm on my knees. Elbows are underneath shoulders, hands spread wide. You do the variation of plank you like. You can keep an eye on that timer to measure your progress, or not at all. Don't time it. Take breaks when you need to. Slip on down to your belly. Send your hips high into a downward dog if you're taking a high plank. You decide. Okay, we're halfway there. So today's plank, this dolphin plank on the knees, I can feel it in my core. Don't think for a second that, it's much easier. No, in your plank pose, you have time under tension. T-U-T, tut. Time under tension. You're holding an isometric exercise, but everything is tight, everything is tense. Okay, so timing-wise, we got less than 10 seconds to go. Keep it under tension, hold on here, and as you're ready, let's come on out of it. Take a break, let everything soften. Let everything soften and just take a comfortable seat. I'm gonna sit back on my heels in a thunderbolt pose. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let it go. It's good, isn't it? You feel good. Once you tense everything up and release, it feels super good. All right, so let's come down to our backs and bring your strap with you. And we are gonna use this today. If you don't have it, no big deal. We can ditch the timer and move on. Okay, so here's the deal. You got your strap. So we're gonna come on down, we're gonna do dead bug. Okay, so for dead bug, recline. Take your time, you're in control. Recline, come all the way down. Bend your knees, and for today's dead bug, we're gonna lift our legs up. Knees are gonna be over your hips, shins parallel to the earth. Draw your toes up toward the sky, so you got a nice right angles here. All right, here's the hard part. Take your hands, push your hands into your thighs. Push your thighs back into your hands. Right now, looks like nothing, right? It is nothing if I'm not doing tension. Well, it's kind of hard in the legs. But press the thighs into the hands and then press the hands into the thighs. Oh my goodness, here's that time under tension again. Feel it in your core. Shoulders are away from your ears. Really push. The more you push through the hands, the more you push the legs back. Oh my goodness, how intense is this dead bug pose? Push, push, push so much that you feel the shake. Embrace the shake. You got it. Breathe. And then release, let it go. Let your legs go long on your mat. Arms high overhead, palms touch, take a stick pose. Point the toes to the bottom of the mat, reach the fingers to the top of the mat, biceps beside your ears. Stretch it out in this big number one shape in your stick pose. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, let it go. Find your strap. Find your strap. And let's send our legs up. Place the strap underneath your feet. Send your legs up, up, up to the sky. Hold them here. Give the strap a nice tug. As you tug on the strap, hug your elbows in. Maybe think of your toes coming overhead. When you're ready, let's take this to a boat pose, Navasana. You don't have to have a strap. Totally up to you, but I'm going to take it slowly with this strap today. I'm going to think of my heels as weighted. Let them come on down toward the earth. I'm going to peel my shoulders up. I'm going to take it really slowly. Let your core lift you up. And then like a phoenix, rise out of the chest. Squeeze your shoulders back. Lean on back a little bit so you find balance here, hugging the elbows in, letting the legs extend long in your boat pose. Shoulders are back, back is flat. Hold it and play with the height of your legs. Maybe lower them a little bit or maybe lift them a little bit, but keep your balance. You're like in a recliner, like in a barwa chair. How's that? Where you got to kind of keep your core engaged. Let it be. Here is your boat pose for today. Other days we do it. Yesterday we rowed the boat. Oh my goodness. All right, hold it here. You've got it. There's your boat with a strap. All right, let's bring it on down. Bring your heels down. Take that forward fold again. Use the strap this time. Walk your hands down the strap. Send your gaze towards your knees. Let this feel really good. Take a moment here. When you breathe in, your belly's going to push against your thighs. It's going to lengthen you up a little bit. And then exhale, really think of letting your belly go flat. Think of letting your belly button go back towards your spine as you fold even more forward. And then finish. Come on up. Remove the strap, but don't let it go very far. We're going to come back and do something in a minute with that. Let's go back to plank. All right, you're thinking, oh no, another plank. But this one, I think you're gonna like. It's a nice big stretch. Roll onto one side. I'm gonna roll onto my right hip, and I'm gonna take a forearm plank, and I'm gonna bend my right forearm. I'm gonna work the forearm parallel to the top of the mat. But again, elbow under the shoulder, fingers spread wide for a nice stable surface. I'm gonna send my legs long. Can you do that? I'm gonna scoot up so my ankles don't dig into the ground because that's not real comfortable. All right, so I'm on the mat, shoulder over right elbow. Put my hand on my hip or in front as a kickstand, maybe as a kickstand to start. Press on up, lift your hips on up. How are you doing? Have the hips lifted. Lift the left arm up to the sky. Maybe reach the left arm forward to the top of your mat. Hold it here, lift your hips a little higher, breathe. You're strong, you got this, stay strong. Breathe a couple more breaths. Bring the hand back up to the sky, look up to the hand, push into your mat, then bring your hips down. Let's go to the other side and do the exact same thing. All right. Now, if it's a little too much in the shoulders, stay down on the hip, don't worry about it. Maybe keep the knees bent and just lift the hip a little bit. Left arm parallel to the top of the mat, legs long on the mat. Kickstand the hand to start, to give you that little oomph to start. When you're ready, press on up. Maybe lift the right arm up, maybe look up to the right arm, maybe reach the right arm forward, lifting through the hips a little bit more, not sagging there. Press, lift, hold, you got it. Arm goes back up, gaze goes back up too, and then bring the hip on down. You got it, come to seated. All right, getting stronger every day, and that's good. Shoelace pose, this is intense for the hips. Maybe you sit, crisscross applesauce, and you're good with that. I'm going to bend the legs a little bit more. I'm gonna bring my heel back to my opposite hip. Other leg, I'm gonna have it on top and bring that heel to the other hip as best you can. Knees are quasi-stacked. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Take a deep breath in and a deep shoulder softening breath out. Stay right here if you like. It's plenty intense. I'm gonna walk my hands forward. And you know what you could do? You could have a block. You could place your hands on the block. You can slide the block forward. It's a little bit of a distraction, kind of fun having the prop. You can walk your hands forward, maybe bring your nose to your top knee. Try to keep both bottom cheeks down on the ground. Walk your hands back, back, back towards your body. Switch it on out. So the leg that was on top is now going to be the leg on the bottom. Leg on the bottom is now the leg on the top. All right, crisscross the knees as best you can. Hug those heels toward opposite hip creases. Lengthen up and stay right here. Give yourself a foot massage if that's what you'd like to do. But lengthen up. Your hips are feeling it. Make it even more if you want. Walk your hands forward with the block or without. Nose to your knee. Maybe this is where you really want to sigh it out. Oh my goodness, sigh it out, let it go. Walk your hands back to your body. Shoulders over your hips. Let it all go in pentacle pose. Oh, good. Pentacle. Let's come on down to your mat. Slowly take it down to your back. Spread your legs wide. Bring your arms up overhead. A bend in the elbows if you want. Bring your body into a capital letter X shape. If that doesn't feel good in the shoulders, think of a snow angel and just float your arms down a little bit to where it feels right. Unclench your jaws, breathe. It's a great pose as it brings everything back to the midline. Breathe in, sigh it out, let it go. Stay here if you like. I'm going to do a bound angle set of Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups. If you want to join me, float your arms down. Come to a seated position. Use your hands or not. You decide. Now here's the deal. Take your strap, bring it around your body. So it's like you're wearing a belt, but it's really hip and low and cool and down low on your hips. Take the strap, send the tail end through both rings, and bring the tail back around into just one of the rings. You know, just make like a big loop. No rocket science here. All right, so bend your knees. Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups. If you don't have a strap, just do your Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups. Same thing, but without the strap. Strap intensifies it. All right, so we're gonna draw the heels up close to the bottom. We're gonna have the soles of the feet touch. Then we're gonna take this loop of the strap and bring it under the foot, the pinky edge side of the foot, bring it under there. All right, have the strap with the tail nearby so you can tighten it when you go down. So let's make our way back down. And when you're ready, pull on that tail. So this strap is low on your waist. The strap is coming up to your inner thighs, and the strap goes around the pinky edge side of your foot. Pull the tail to tighten this up. Whew, to bring your heels up close to your groin. Now maybe you lie here in goddess. You could take your arms, forearms, cactus them out, bringing your forearms parallel to the sides of your mat and just rest here. I'm going to bend my elbows even more from that cactus position and bring my fingertips lightly to my temples. On an exhale, I'm going to peel my shoulders up, my chin going up to the sky, and then back down, letting my shoulders rest. Lift on the exhale, come down on the inhale. Lift and lower. How do you like the bound angle pose using the strap? Just something a little different. Lift and lower. And when you're ready, we'll finish up. Come back to that goddess pose and just enjoy the depth of the stretch in the thighs here. Maybe as you're down, maybe you can tighten up the tail of the strap a little bit more. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, as you're ready, let's come out of this. And as many people as there are, there's going to be that many different ways to come out of it. I like lifting my legs up. Maybe that's the lazy way. I like lifting my legs up and then slipping the strap off. Come on, up to seated. I think that's the fastest way. You earned that little bit of ease in this pose. All right, so now let's take it to a wide-legged forward fold. You're really stretched out there, so let's see how this works today. Send your legs good and wide. Bring your block or 2 blocks or whatever you got into whatever height configuration works for you. Legs spread wide, hinge forward here. Hinge forward and maybe rest your forearms or your head on the blocks. How does this feel? We've done a lot with the hips today. Think about when we did that shoelace pose, and we did the deer pose, and we just did that Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups with the bound angle. How does it feel in your hips right now? How does it feel in your inner thighs? If you remember back to other practices, are you able to get a little lower maybe in this wide-legged forward fold? I don't know, and it doesn't matter, but just, note those little milestones if you want to. Breathe, take it to what feels right. And then slowly let's come out of it. All right, so remove your blocks. Bring your legs back to the midline of your body. Put your eye shade and your towel up near the top of your mat. Oh, and your blocks too. All right, so you're seated, legs are long. Let's take our hands to prayer center, lengthen up, and then recline. Your heels are gonna drag nice and slowly up towards your body as you come down in one fluid motion. Come all the way down. Let's do a supine twist. Left leg is long, heel toward the bottom of the mat. Right leg bends. Interlace your fingers and tuck them under your right knee. You could use a towel here if that feels better. If the arms don't quite reach, use the towel to pull the knee in. Circle the ankle right and left. Let the left hand guide the right knee across the midline of the body. Tee out your right arm and look to the right. Breathe. This is going to be interesting when I do the other side. All right, as you're ready, bring your knee up toward the sky. Hug the knee in one more time. Circle the ankle this way and that. Send the right leg long onto your mat. Left heel, drag it on up. As you drag your left heel up and bring the knee towards your chest, make sure that right leg is long. The heel is even going farther to the bottom of the mat as your right toes draw up, keeping that time under tension on this right leg like you do when we did that cat pulling its tail position. All right, hug the left knee in, circle the ankle, right, left, left. Right. Right hand guides the left knee across the midline of the body. Left arm tees out. Look to the left. There is your supine twist. Doesn't that feel great? Bring your left hip back down to the earth. Hug underneath your left knee. Circle the ankle a couple more times because you can. Send the left leg long and straight back down to your mat. Now drag both heels up at the same time. Ooh, my core feels it. Drag them on up close to your bottom. Plant the feet. We're going to go into a bridge pose here. Arms down by your sides. Press into your hips and lift your hips up to the sky. Hips are lifted. Wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Feel the power in your legs. Your legs are strong. Hands down by your sides. Press and lift your hips even higher. All right. Foundation of the left foot. Keep it nice and strong. Lift your right leg up. Take the outside of the right ankle and bring it onto that left thigh. Drive the outside of the right knee down toward the earth as you lift your bridge even higher. Hold it here. You've got a figure 4 going. You've got a bridge pose going. It's all good. Hold it. Push harder into that foundational foot. You're strong. Now release the right leg down to meet the left. Readjust your bridge. Send the hips nice and high. Again. Root firmly into that right foot. Lift your left leg up. Crisscross the left leg outside of the left ankle on top of your right thigh. Push the hips even higher. Let that left knee come toward the earth as you open up through the hips. Push hard into your right leg. Don't think about anything else. Just the strength in that right leg as you hold on to this figure 4 in your bridge. When you're ready, release the left leg down to the earth. Readjust your bridge. Send it good and high to the sky. As you're ready, think of your vertebra, individual vertebra coming down one at a time, clink, clink, clink onto your mat. Keep your tailbone tucked up. To do that, keep your navel tucked to your spine. Stay strong in your core, be conscious of your core, and then let the spine come down one vertebra at a time. There's more there than you think. All the way down, one more, until you come to the tailbone, and then release the tailbone last. Let your belly come away from the spine and feel the sensation of that. All right, let's roll over onto our stomachs. Just roll on over. Superman time. Arms go long to the top of your mat. Legs are long on your mat as well. Work your legs apart. Tops of your feet are kind of to the edges of your mat. Think of Superman flying. You kind of look just like the old Superman movies, Superman flying through the sky. Maybe lift one leg or the other or both. So you find yourself kind of balancing on your pelvis. You could bring your legs down and then try it with the arms. One arm lifts, then the other arm lifts. Then maybe both arms lift. You can put it all together, lifting the legs and the arms, and fly like Superman, having your pelvis, your belly kind of be the points of contact with the earth. Maybe lift a little higher, lifting your chest up off the ground. Maybe lift your legs a little higher. Think of Superman flying. Breathe. Come on down. Sweep your arms down by your sides. So your nose, your chin are on your mat, shoulders away from your ears. Flip your arms so your hands are palms down on the earth. Spread your fingers wide. Legs, don't worry about them, they'll take care of themselves. Think of an airplane. And your arms are like the wings of an airplane. So work the arms a little bit away from the body, and when you're ready, on an inhale, take off. Lift on up, legs and arms lift, fingers toward the back of the room, gaze down your nose, hold here, you're strong. Strong, stay lifted, maybe lift and fly a little higher, hold it, breathe, you got it. Finish, bring the airplane down for a gentle landing. Bend your elbows, hands under your collarbones, legs in a little closer toward the midline. Press on up through strong arms. Press on up till the arms straighten and you come into a seal pose. Soften in your glutes. Make your way up to a standing on your knees position. In your standing on your knees position, come on up. Your hips, your shoulders are over your hips. Take a baby camel. Put your hands behind your low back. Oh, let's see if I can come into the camera. And to look back toward the back of the room. Push your hips forward. Do what's right. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. How is that? All right, come on down. Let's go into a fish pose to finish out in our fish pose Shavasana combination. If you don't have blocks or you don't want to do it, just come into final Shavasana. That's a fully reclined position on your back. I'm going to take it in a gentle fish pose by placing the blocks in their stable position. You can do this is a supported fish. You can do an unsupported fish as well if you want to do that. I know, Betty, you do that a lot. To do that, remember how we tucked our shoulders under when we did bridge pose? You'd come to your final Shavasana, but tuck your shoulders really tightly under to allow your chest to lift to the sky. All right, so I've got the blocks placed like a letter T on the mat. Have enough space between the blocks for your neck. Then come to recline here. Have your eye shade and your towel so you can use those as well. I'm going to adjust this block so it's right between my shoulder blades. You don't want it low on the back. That doesn't feel good. And you don't want it so low on your back. You don't want it low on the back at all. But you don't want to have your bottom up off the ground either. You want your bottom resting. So adjust that shoulder block so it's right between your shoulder blades. Bring the other block as a pillow for your head. And ease into your final Shavasana pose. Cover the eyes. Arms, they can tee out or they can drift on down like that snow angel pose. Your legs. You do what you want with your legs. For a classic final Shavasana, you'd have the legs long with the toes, pinky toe kind of falling to the earth. Comfortable spread in the legs, be at peace. If you're in your fish pose, and you want to alleviate some tension on your back, well, first of all, feel how your back feels if you're on this fish pose. Remember, your bottom is on the mat. Feel how your low back feels. Just kind of be aware of it. And then bend your knees. And then see how that changes how your low back feels. Maybe you like that today and you finish off this way. Or maybe you're kind of intrigued by that bound angle pose that we did. You could bring the soles of your feet to touch and open up your knees to the side of the room. Whichever pose you take, get comfortable. Don't feel that you're under tension. Feel the peace. Breathe in. And, breathe out. Maybe sigh it out. Let it go. All the tension in your shoulders, let it go. All the tension in your body, the legs, the arms, even the area between the eyebrows, let it go. Deep breaths. If you have your remote control handy, you can hit pause and enjoy your final Shavasana as long as you like. Even 5 minutes. 5 minutes isn't that long. Just enjoy it and be at peace. Then when it's time to come back to the world, unpause the button and let's begin to wiggle our fingers and our toes. Breathe in. Breathe out. I'm going to send my legs long on my mat and take a good morning stretch. And here's the deal. If you're on these blocks, that good morning stretch feels really intense. So lift the arms high. Just stretch like before you get out of bed in the morning. Point your toes, stretch, reach. Let it feel great. Feel it in the shoulders. And as you're ready, let your arms float down by your sides, bend your knees, and roll onto one side or the other. Just roll off your blocks and just scoot them aside. Bend your knees, bend your elbow as you come into a fetal position. Rest your head on your bicep. Take a deep breath in. Refreshing, refilling, recharged, and a big, full exhale. Letting go of that which doesn't serve you. As you're ready, float on up, eyes opened or closed. Use your hands or not, totally your call. Bend your knees. Sit comfortably, whatever is comfortable today. Bring your hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go. Stress number, what was it? What is it? It's down. It's good. Be consistent. Be persistent. You got this. See you on your mats tomorrow. Love you guys. Goodbye. Hello. See ya. Good girl. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.